Hey guys, it's me Marty and welcome to this week's edition of Tutorial Tuesday. I know I never do tutorials anymore, but it's a whole with work and stuff, y'all, it takes forever. Anyway, this is clearly a Halloween makeup tutorial. This year I decided to do what I'm calling skull candy. So it's a sugar skull, but kind of with my own little tweaks on it. If you guys aren't familiar with sugar skulls, this is what a sugar skull is. I am obsessed with the movie The Book of Life. I've never seen Coco, but everyone tells me I should see it. Oh wait, a hairpin just popped out. But aside from those, like, I am a huge fan of My Chemical Romance. If you remember during the Black Parade, Gerard Way, as well as I think all of them at some point would do a little skull look on their face. So I took all of that together and kind of twisted it up and added my own little spin on it. So this is our skull candy sugar skull Halloween look. So if you guys want to see how I did this look, you can just keep on watching. Thanks. Okay guys, so let me first start by saying that this probably shouldn't be called a tutorial because I'm kind of doing it for the first time, but I've been experimenting with certain parts of it, but I never put the whole thing together. So let's get started. Right now my face is clean and moisturized. I have nothing else on. So first I'm going to use the MAC Charge Water, which I'm like almost out of it. I had this thing forever. I'm surprised. So I want to start by saying that this tutorial is not supposed to last all day. So I'm not using like my usual foundations or primers or whatever because of the fact that you're not going to use this all day. I don't need it to last all day. Louie. Again, children. Hey, chill out with all that noise, dude. I'm shooting a video. Yeah, so I'm using the MAC Charge Water. This is not the one I use. This is not the priming spray I usually use. But again, I want to use this one because I don't want to waste one I need for like a really, really good look, because this one is more about it's a costume. So, you know. So next for my primer, I'm going to use the NYX Shine Killer Primer, which again, that's not a primer I use often. I just use it for stuff like this where I don't need a super amazing primer. It's not a bad primer. It just, I find it doesn't help my makeup last all day, but it does go on really, really smooth. And it's like $6. So it's a good primer. It's not my favorite primer. So that's why I'm using it on this look. I still need my skin primer. Like, I still wouldn't apply foundation to my bare skin. Actually, I don't even know what that would look like to apply foundation to just my bare skin. And the order of which I'm going to apply products is different because this is just a totally different look. Totally different. So, all right. So my skin is primed. Now I'm going to apply my eyeshadow primer. I'm not applying eyeshadow just yet. We're actually going to do foundation first. But I want to do it now so that the foundation sticks on my eye where it needs to. Because still, it's kind of difficult for me to get my eyeshadow to stay put because, one, my eyelids are really oily, and two, my allergies. I always tend to have tears right here, and it starts to get in that corner, and it starts to really cause issues. So that primer from NYX, it feels so good. Like, it's super duper soft. It feels almost like a moisturizer. It makes my skin so soft and smooth. So I'm going to apply the NYX Proof It Waterproof Eyeshadow Primer. I'm just going to use the wand to apply it, and then I'm going to blend it in with my fingers. And I have heard some people say, like, they don't use an eyeshadow primer because their face primer works. If that's the case, hey, by all means do it. I like an eyeshadow primer because I find eyeshadow, just the pigments and what I needed to do is a lot different. So, you know. Now, a lip primer, I've had one, and I don't think I need that. But, you know, ideally, I think a primer for each part of my beauty routine would be ideal. But anyway. Okay, so next up, like I said, I am going out of order than I usually do because of the nature of this look. So next, we're going to apply foundation. And again, I'm going to use a foundation I don't use often. A foundation I got on sale that I use for like this kind of stuff again. This is the Almay Age Essentials Makeup in the shade Medium Cool. I got it for like $1.49 at Ulta. So I use it for like these not my everyday looks that I'm gonna wear like and need it to last all day. This is more for like a trick or treat or a Halloween party or whatever. And this year we're doing a Halloween Zoom party. So everybody's gonna do their costumes just so we can kind of feel some sense of normalcy. And I just sprayed that with that organic coconut water that I always use. So I'm gonna shake this up because I don't think I've used it in a long time. And I needed not to squirt all over my clothes and my new rug down there. It's a pretty foundation too. It doesn't, when you have it, this one, I don't know, maybe it's old, but when you have it on for too long, it starts to like separate, and I hate that. So therefore I don't use this one very often, but I'm gonna use it for this skull candy look. And again, since we're not using it, since we're not really focusing much on the foundation today, you could use it on a brush or whatever. I'm used to a sponge, so I'm using a sponge, but you could really use whatever you want because we don't care how blended it actually is because we're not focusing on the face today. It's really thick, like it's so thick, but I'm used to using, I usually use that NARS, and it's like watery, which I love because it goes on so smooth and so fluid. So I guess I'm not used to this anymore. It's been a long time since I used this thing. So, and again, if you need to know which one it is, it's medium cool is the shade. Just putting this on to get a good base. And I wanted it to be a little bit lighter than my skin because it's a skull, but I don't want it to be white. I don't want to do the whole, you know. And I didn't do concealer or color correct concealer because, again, it's not about that tonight. When everything is done and you got your big black eyes and cheekbones and stones all over your face, no one's gonna care about a pimple. No one's gonna see it. Okay, so that's good for the foundation. Next, we're going to do lips because we are going to draw like teeth over it. So you want to make sure the lipstick has enough time to dry. So I'm going to do my lips right now. So for my lipstick today, I'm going to use Prestige Cosmetics Waterproof Lip Liner in Prestige Red, True Red, sorry. And then I'm going to go with the Dose of Colors Kiss of Fire, which is probably my favorite red lipstick of all time. It's so bright. And again, you might not want to spend money on the rest of it. When I was thinking of a red for this look, that was the red that came to mind because it's just so bright and beautiful. So, gonna line first, starting at the corners. If you want to overline, the easiest way to make it not look fake or crazy is to do it here. So you would take your pencil and just go a little lower. If you need to overline the lips, again, the easiest way I found to do it is to go in the point. So you would take this and just go up a little bit. It'll not only make them look bigger, but it gives like an optical illusion of it also being more plump. And all of the products I'm using, including the lipstick, you don't have to use this exact brand or anything. I'm not suggesting that. Just use whatever like your favorite bright red is because you want the lips to be bright red because when we put the roses in, you want them to match, you know. Going in with the Dose of Colors Kiss of Fire. Oh, I love this. And the smell, y'all, the smell is like insane. It smells so good. It smells like cupcakes. Okay. So we got our lips ready. We got our skin ready. Now we're going to get to the craziness. So let me go and grab a few things and I'll be right back. Okay, guys, so now is where we're going to start putting on our skull. This is where we're going to start seeing kind of the craziness start to form. I'm going to do everything I can with the NYX Jumbo Eye Pencil in Black Bean. So we're going to use this to create the hollow for the eyes, the cheekbones, the skull. Pretty much everywhere we would usually contour, we're going to put black this time. And I'm interested to see how this is going to come out because well, let me start while I'm talking to y'all about this. So for those that don't know, I actually am an artist. Like I went to school for computer animation. I always wanted to draw. I always wanted to do that kind of stuff. So this, I'm hoping I can get some of that feeling in this. That's why I wanted to use a pencil because I figured it would be, you know, similar to what I'm used to. So I'm just making the top part. of the eye socket, just hollowing it out. I'll go on the bottom. And the way I decided where to stop the eye hole, I'm putting it right where, like, you could actually feel where your socket stops. So I'm gonna have to change the other one because it's too low. But it's all good. Dude, this already looks so trippy. And I'm gonna go back and clean this up. I'm just trying to see where I'm just placing it at the moment. It's too high on this side. Or is this one not high enough? Oh yeah, I like how that looks. Okay. Okay, so I have that done. I'm just gonna start filling it in with this pencil. And I'm putting these little like streaky marks like that because I'm gonna blot it. I'm gonna blend it with a beauty blender, which means I'll be doing a lot of cleaning this weekend on these blenders because I won't be able to use them again for a while till that's done. Now the thing is with this, y'all, we used to have to draw the skeleton and skulls all the time because how well the lights and the shadows are created. But it's a lot different doing it on paper and doing it on a face, and especially your own face, because it's hard to see everything. This is bananas. It looks so cool already. I've always wanted to do a sugar skull for Halloween, but it's just such a stereotypical thing to do that I've done. So I've done other ones instead. I've done Cleopatra, I did Black Swan, and this year I was like, you know what? I'm not gonna let the fact that everybody else did a sugar skull stop me from doing a sugar skull this year. I want to do it, so do it I shall. Like, I love the movie, The Book of Life is like one of my favorite movies of all time. It's like one of my favorite movies of all time. And then, of course, y'all that have watched my channel for a minute know that I'm a huge My Chemical Romance fan. So the Black Parade situation with Gerard doing the skull. Well, I think they all did the skull, like, on tour and stuff. So I really wanted to take all of those influences. And then I looked online at a bunch, too. Because, like I said, I've always been into the skull. I've always been into a sugar skull. This is crazy. So I wanted to kind of incorporate that into my own gig and make it, I want to darken this up a little bit. I think it's really light right now. I'm going to go in with a pen with a stylo and clean up the edges later before we do our next part. But this one is higher, so I'm going to make this one a little higher so they match. And the lid, I'm leaving it on purpose because we're going to do something different with the lid later. Okay, so I'm going to leave the eyes like that for now, and I want to start working on the cheekbones and all that. So we're going to do just like when we contour, suck in the cheeks. Make our line, but instead of doing it just like this, I want to make a little triangle, like a slice. Then I'm going to take my pencil again, and I'm going to use it to pull like the corner of my lip into that cheekbone section. And then we're going to stitch it. So we're going to do the little, you know, lines. I'm just thinking of how much this would scare the crap out of my goddaughter. She would have a heart attack. Okay, so this is where we are so far. I'm going to now go down. Like I said, we're going to do just like we would our contour. So under the chin, because we want to create that definition. I know it's looking a little messy, guys, but when we get to blending, it's going to be a whole different animal. So just sit tight. Then up to the temples, just like we usually would. I'm going to be washing my face for days today. Like, it's insane. I'm not mad at it, though. It's going to be a lot. Okay, so I'm blending it out a little bit. And then what we're going to do after that, we're going to go in with a bronzer and kind of blend out the edges of this black here. But let's get all the black on first. Y'all see that fade, how it's making like a dimension? You know, just dragging it down to create the shape of a cheek, like a skull would have, right? Now, with this milk pencil, we're going to do a little design on the not a design, but just a little kind of half circle on the chin and on the nose. If you have ever tried to draw a nose on a skull, oh my God, it is so freaking hard. I hated that in school because it takes forever. To get the shadow and the light perfect. It's horrible. It's ridiculous. It's not impossible if you want to spend $30,000 going to school to learn how to do it, but it's annoying and it takes forever. Again, I'm just blending out a little bit so I can start to make the shape I want. I want to actually darken this a little bit more before I do before I define a little bit. I want to define this corner a little bit more. Because that's where on the skull it would be the darkest, so. Yeah, that looks, so you see how this got that little fade there? That's what we're going for with that. So that looks, doesn't it look crazy? Like, it looks so bananas to me. So now I guess we can start going in with our definition, and then it's going to be a lot. So just sit tight. Now, guys, in order to get a little bit more definition where I want it, I'm going to go in with the NYX black eyeshadow base, and I'm going to use that almost like a pen, like to kind of trace out some more areas that I want to get a little more definition. So like the eyes, how it's kind of bleeding around the side, I don't want that. I want that to be nice and crisp and clean. So I'm going to go. Yeah, we see how much cleaner that's getting already. So that's what we want to do. And I'm just swirling this Japanese eyeliner brush. It's old. I messed it up, so I use it for like stuff like this now. Because I don't know how I got it to fan out like that instead of having a point like it used to. But, you know. Okay. See how much more defined it is with this? A lot better. So in the top, I want to drag this down a little bit because I want to create more of a shadow right on the edge, kind of where my brows are. And if you see, I'm using the brush to just drag down to start getting that look. I'm going to be taking this makeup off for like years. Like, I may not take it off until Halloween. It may not all be gone. Whoop. Actually, I don't need to do that anyway, so I'm glad I dropped it. And I'm going to go back and refine some of the shadows in other places, like here. So you guys see, or you should see what we're doing. We're just making a harder definition of the areas of the skull that will be really dark. So for the cheekbone, it's going to be the main line right here that we're going to carve out. And on the temples, it's going to be right in the corner. And then we're going to blend that out. I have to wash my hair tonight too. So that's why if you guys are like, she's really just putting all of this eyeshadow base in her hair, that's the reason. That is the reason. So we have... Oh, I forgot to do, I'm going to do that in a second. I have something else I need to do with this that I forgot about. So I'm going to go with that same little blender, and I just want to blend out using the point. Using the point, I want to start blending out. Just a little tiny bit of that base. Because we want to keep that line really, really defined. We don't want to, you know, mess with that line that much. The chin, I didn't add anything to, because I don't think there's anything to really define on the little chin area, so I'm not going to worry about that. This, we're going to blend it in to the hairline and into that coffee bean. Black bean. Why do I keep calling it coffee? I have no idea why I keep calling it coffee bean. Just the corner and blend it out a little tiny bit, so that it's not so harsh, right? Now we're looking a little scary, honey. I'll do a little tiny bit on the nose, right on the end here. Okay. These are the two parts that technically and skill-wise might be the hardest to do. I mean, for me, I can't speak for everybody, but for me, because we're going to make the lines on the lips that are going to go up here and look really cool when your lips are, when your mouth is closed. And then we're going to make little circles around the eyes where we're going to put our little diamonds in a minute. So I'm going to do one down the center. And then when you come out, so the one in the center is going to be straight down the middle, right? On the sides, though, we're going to do the little, it's going to bend, right? Like little points like this, so. Yeah. Okay, so just doing it now, again, I practiced it a while back and I didn't like the way it came out. So just doing it now, it is a lot easier to just do than one way. Then come back and do the other way, so. How many did I do? 4, 1, 2. And we're gonna do the same exact thing on the bottom. My lips are a little bigger on the bottom, so it's gonna be harder to get those lines straight because there's so much of a curve. And then where we did our stitches earlier, just like we did with the other stuff, we're going to just refine it a little bit. So you're going to take that and go across the top with it. And then on the side closest to our mouth, we're going to go right on the side where it makes the stitch we did earlier look like the shadow of the stitch. So this is how we're looking so far. I'm gonna go back into the black eyeshadow base. You could do this with an eyeliner too, if you want to. I don't know, I just like the eyeshadow base a little more because it's not quite as permanent. So if I make a mistake, I can go back and fix it. Now all we're gonna do is make the little half circles. And that goes all the way around the eye. If you've ever seen a sugar skull, this is like one of the big parts of it, is the little half circles. Well, for me, it's like my favorite part. I like the half circles. I think it looks elegant and pretty, and it's where we're going to put our stones later. I'm sorry if y'all couldn't see those. So this is what our eye is going to look like when it's finished. I think I'll actually finish the other one off camera because you don't really need to see this. It's going to get tedious. So, okay, guys. So bronzer. We are going to go with the Prestige Cosmetics with illuminating bronzing powder and Sunkissed is the name of it. So all we're gonna do with this is take this big old blending brush here. We're gonna swirl it real good in there, and we're just gonna use that to buff out the edges of the black, because it's gonna give it an illusion of being illusion of fading a little bit. Hold on a second, I'll go back and get it. So just going to the off the edge of this, and we're just using it to fade that line in a little bit so that we don't have where it doesn't just stop. And same thing down here. So we're gonna go with milk, which if you are familiar with this channel at all, you know milk gets used a lot. And everywhere we did that really deep contour with the NYX black eyeshadow base, everywhere we did that, we're gonna go above it, except the eyes, because we gotta do something different with the eyes. But we're gonna go right above it with this white milk so that it looks like the light is hitting it, and so the light is hitting it and then going down. This is so cool looking. On the chin. On the nose is going to be a little bit different because the nose is a different shape. So we're going to go up the bridge of the nose with this one. Y'all see what's going on now. Again, just tracing above. Already put that black to give us just a little bit of light hitting it. So now for the lips, we have to get a little more in detail about it, right? So I just got up to go and clean this brush off, and I caught a glimpse of this thing in the mirror. It looks so cool, y'all. It looks really good. Oh, I forgot to do something. So I want to also put a little line above the eye. And I just wanted to kind of build that up where it looks like we have like kind of sort of brows, and we have to do a little design in there in a minute. All right, now I'm going to take this NYX eyeshadow base in white, and I'm just going to put little dots inside of our circles. I think too, that's something I really love about them when they're done right. Not this, but like when somebody like has years and years of practice doing this, it can be so beautiful to see. And then for the lips, we're gonna go in with on the side of each one. Okay, cool. Okay, so I forgot to do this earlier. I don't know if it's like a necessity, but I really wanted to do it. I'm going to take the red lip liner I used earlier, and I'm going to make a heart right in the middle of my forehead, and then just some little designs around it. So that was simple. Again, just drawing it just like you would draw a regular heart, like, you know, any other day. Make sure my brush doesn't have any more white on it. I'm going to go back in with the NYX eyeshadow base in black. I'm not done with the eyes yet either. We're going to go back, and I'm just going to make some random designs on there. This is actually the hardest part to do with this brush. Out of all the stuff I did tonight, this is the hardest thing. Because the brush is like, as I'm turning it, it's like acting stupid, but it's all good, brush. I'll fix it. Now there's one more thing that I would like to do. Oh, two more things actually. I forgot about the other thing. Okay, so I'm going to go with, let me grab it right here. One of my favorite highlighters of all time, the Wet Set highlighter from Kylie Cosmetics. So there's no white, so I want to go with the lightest one, which is this pretty like pinky champagne color called Privacy Please. And I'm just going to use a little tiny bit of that because I just want that shimmer. Some of the ones I saw had this beautiful shimmer on it, and I wanted to use that tonight on mine as well because I really love it. As y'all know, I love a good highlight, especially a good blinding wet highlight like this one is. I feel so pretty, like, so not pretty, but like weird, like pretty in a weird way, like artistically pretty, not just pretty like, oh, she's cute. So now I'm going to go and grab the Pretty Rich palette from Too Faced. Okay guys, now we're coming into the home stretch, so we are going to use a little NYX glitter primer on the eyelid. Right on the, you can pretty much apply straight on the eyelid. And we're going to apply some of the Pretty Rich palette, because although I did not like this palette, the glitters in the palette are really pretty, so we're going to use those. So I'm going to put a little bit, one drop of the glitter primer on there. And I'm going to use my finger just to spread it out a little bit. Okay, now using my flat Bogache shader brush, I'm going to go in with Cold Under Pressure, which is this black, which is like a glittery black again. And I want to get a good bit on the brush because, again, in order for it to stand out, we'll need a good bit. And I'm going to go on the outside of my lid with it. Say what you will about NYX Cosmetics, man. They can, that glitter primer is the truth, bro. That glitter primer is really good. Then I'm going to use my fingers to go into Diamond Life, which is this beautiful, it's a pressed glitter pigment. So that's why, see, I'm going to put that right on my inner lid. Right? Now we got a little glam on our sugar skull. Kind of, because we're about to turn the glam like way up on the sugar skull. So next, my last thing, and this is actually what started this whole thing. So a few years ago, my sister got married, and my mom and I threw her a beautiful, amazing bridal shower. And we used these to decorate some of the favors. And my mom had like 1,000 of them left, and she's about to throw them away. And I was like, no, I've always wanted to do a sugar skull for Halloween. So literally, I've had these sitting in the drawer since probably before last Christmas, waiting for Halloween. So we're going to apply a couple of these onto our eyes. So excited. These might be a little big, actually. I don't think they'll fit, but we're going to stick some of them in there because I don't want to put them. Let's see if they'll stick to skin, because I really don't know if they're going to stick to skin. I hope they will, but I have no idea. But see. Yeah, so I'm going to go around and put one of those in every one of those circles except by my eye, because you got to be safe, you know. I don't want to take a stuck tear duct, because that would be just great with all the medical issues I have, to go get a whole rhinestone stuck in my eye. Check too, guys, if you're doing this with one that has an adhesive that came with it, like it has an adhesive on it like these do, check and make sure, like do a patch test on your skin to make sure you're not allergic to it. You don't want to swell up like a balloon just for a sugar skull, you know. And most people know and understand that, but this is the internet and you know how that is, so, you know. I may go ahead, guys, and do the rest of these off camera because it's going to get so boring just watching me try to peel and stick them on my face, so. Okay, so y'all couldn't see because I was on the phone with my sister, but all I did was continue pinning the roses down. Okay, guys, so this is my finished Skull Candy Sugar Skull look for this Halloween. I hope you guys like it. I hope if you recreate it, please let me know so that I can see it. Tag me in it or something so I can see. And I hope y'all like it. I hope I taught y'all something. I hope y'all do this look for Halloween. And you can follow my Instagram, which is right here. You could follow my Twitter, which is right here. And if you have any questions or comments, you can leave it down in the comment section below. And I will see y'all next time here on Glam with Marty. Trick or treat. Y'all have a happy Halloween. Bye.